Hi folks, welcome back to Whiskey and Watches with Nick. Tonight we are doing part 2 of our Irish extravaganza doubleheader, talking about the two Jamesons finished in their respective beer casks. Part 1 was, of course, the IPA cask, and tonight we are doing the Stout edition. Before we get into this, customary wristwatch check. My latest acquisition, and one I am most happy with, the Fitzroy GMT from the Melbourne Watch Company. It's a obviously 4-hand quartz GMT from a Melbourne-based micro brand. Just absolutely impressed by the look, the finish, just a gorgeous watch. Bought for the princely sum of about $280, $285 US on Joma Shop. Worth looking into if you need a slightly dressy, but not too dressy, well, 4-hand GMT. Has a nice Ronda 515 inside. Folks, it's an absolute steal. Wish I had a macro to show off the domed sapphire. Sapphire at 280, yes, phenomenal. On to the whiskey. So, we did hoppy whiskey yesterday, and it really was surprisingly hoppy. The hops from the barrel really came through in the whiskey. Not in an unpleasant way, just in a very noticeable way. So, the real question tonight is, how much stout character do we get in the Stout edition? Well, it's there, but substantially less than the IPA character was present in the IPA edition that we tried yesterday. I don't know why I'm saying we. It's just, you know, what, my watch and me and a glass of whiskey here. Kidding, that's how I like it. So let's get into the nose here. Little bit of cocoa powder, not coca powder. It's not that kind of channel, folks, really. A little toffee, a little bit of the orange. I think orange, I was getting like orange oil. It's more like fresh orange last night. It's more like orange oil tonight. A little bit of something that smells like, frankly, an American rye, like a Rittenhouse or something. Hints of the honey that we got last night. You know, Jameson's is like what, honey and apple basically, and that's here. It is more masked, interestingly enough. Maybe some prunes or burnt sugar, something in there. So not getting toasted or roasty notes or coffee notes that we might reasonably expect from a whiskey that's been in contact with a barrel, which was in contact with 55 gallons of stout for a certain period of time. Let's see if we get any of those stouty, roasted grain, roasted malt notes on the palate. What's going on there? Cinnamon, orange oil, a little coca and spice. A lot of what was on the nose is here on the palate. Still not getting the roasty, toasty, grainy notes that I would kind of want from this, to be honest with you. Okay, a little bit of the cocoa powder there. I'm gonna try to pull out some sort of coffee flavor here. I'm really gonna focus on it. to me, it's just absent on the nose. Some more honey coming out, but honey backed by something rich. This is starting to get interesting. Cinnamon, cocoa. There it is. The toffee coming through, and a hint of something roasted. As this opens up, I'm getting more and more of the roasted. I have a feeling if I spent a half hour with this dram, that I might start to pull out some pretty cool coffee notes. I think they're in there. I think for whatever reason, they're taking longer to volatilize than the other aromatics. So this is interesting. You know, again, I need to do some more research and maybe do a re-review of this entire Jameson's special edition line and figure out what IPA was used in the IPA casks and which stout was used in the stout casks. Probably not that vital to how the whiskeys actually come out. Just more out of curiosity. It's not like you're going to be able to identify a specific IPA or a specific stout based on the characteristics they impart to the whiskey. It would just be fun to know. Basically, all you're really looking for, all you're really trying to get is, as we experienced yesterday, there we go again, the royal we, I have a mouse in my pocket, as I experienced yesterday, pronounced grassy hops on the nose, and then I think I had floral hops on the palate and the finish. That's enough. You know, does it matter what IPA it was? Not really. Being an Irish whiskey, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess they might have used like former Guinness or Murphy's casks. But to be honest, I don't know if those mass-produced stouts are ever actually see wood a day in their lives. They may very well have had to have gone to a UK or even a US-based microbrewery to get like a proper wooden barrel that actually held an honest-to-goodness, you know, roasty IPA. Again, it would just be fun to know. More as a bit of booze industry trivia than anything that actually relates to the direct tasting notes on the dram. So let's go ahead and polish this up here pretty soon. A very nice whiskey, nothing identifiably stoutish, in direct contrast to the very clearly identifiable IPA influence in yesterday's. Nothing clearly stoutish or stouty or stout influenced in this, but really a very nice whiskey. And what I will say is that it has more complexity, it has more character to it than regular Jameson's. Regular Jameson's to me is like drinking water, which probably means that I've had entirely too much Lafroig in my life, and possibly too much Old Forester 1910. So neurons are like, you know, gone. But it is a much more characteristic experience than regular Jameson's. That I will say, it's a nice whiskey. Has a very different finish. Let's finish with a note on the finish. Somewhat clingy finish, a little bit oily, not in a bad way, just in like a, it stays on the palate for at least 15, 20 seconds kind of finish. Very cool whiskey. Stout edition, nicely done edition, yes. Hey folks, if you've made it this far, as always, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing whiskey with me. And I will see you next time. I swear, I'm gonna do a review of Jack Single Barrel before the summer is out. Mark my words. Okay, stay healthy, stay well, drink your whiskey, wear your watches for crying out loud, and enjoy life.